Now I want to point out that we are, these Shiurim, so the recording of it goes in a couple of places. It goes here into YouTube, and it also goes audio into a website, YU Torah. There's like hundreds of people that listen to it. So, but it was always lagging behind. So as of today, it's up to date. Actually, this is not something I gave for you because you're here. But I'm telling you that. What are the this year then in Nefesh Hachaim is Shaar number 66. So pretty interesting. We just finished the 13th parak, and we're up to Shaar 66.
What about TorahLab? Is it still on?
Not yet.
No.
So Shaar 66. What I want to do is just to explain the Nefesh Hachaim. I just want to learn with you a Reb Tzaddik. So first, let me remind you what the I wish I had for everybody a copy, but you just have to listen to it. We talked, of course, about the behind the scenes, the different worlds that are there, things that happen. It's not just the world we see. The world that we see is one of four worlds. The world of Asiya, that's the world of science, let's call it, the world of physics, the world where you can touch and feel and analyze and see things under a microscope. But we know that that's not where it ends, because there's a higher world of all kinds of things that we don't see, which is the world of Yetzirah. The world of Yetzirah, when Hashem created the world, this is the way He created it. It's not just what we see, it's what we don't see also. So the world of Yetzirah is a world full of malachim. They don't show up under a microscope, or they don't show up in an X-ray machine. So there's a world of malachim and all kinds of other systems, if you will, and mechanisms which make the world work. Without the world of Yetzirah, the world of Asiya wouldn't work. The bottom of the world of Yetzirah, for just to look at it graphically, is the world, just to give you an example, is the world of Mazalos. Mazalos is the astrological aspect of the world. We see the stars. That's in the world of Asiya. We see the stars. Asiya is not just on Earth. Asiya is the entire universe, everything that you can see. But the world of Mazalos, Mazel, what do those stars mean? That's going on in a higher world of Yetzirah. So, for instance, when I don't know that the astrologers today have any idea what they're looking at. I just don't know. But there's certainly such a thing as astrologers. Rashi says that Rabbi Avinu was sure that he wouldn't have any children, so Hashem said to him, "Say me stagnino shlocha, lose the astrology." Not because astrology is a bad thing or a good thing or anything like that, but Rabbi Avinu was accessing at that moment. He was accessing this world and the beginning of the world of Yetzirah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, "Look, I can take you much higher than that. You can get all the way up to the world of Bria." Bria is even before all of the malachim and all of the. So to just give you a slight preview of what I want to learn here, the world of Bria is actually, according to the Zohar, where it says at the beginning of Bereshis, it talks about this. Bereshis bar l'kiva shavai v'zaretz, heading v'haaretz ha'sayu v'choshech sayu v'vayu v'choshech al pnei tahayim. That refers to the upper worlds, the Metzius of the upper worlds, and then comes the creation of this world as we know it. So the Tayu V'Vayu V'Choshech Al Pnei Tehom. It's interesting, and I mention this often because I find it fascinating and inspiring, actually, that the higher you get, presumably the closer you are to Hashem. The higher you get, the darker it gets. Should get lighter. Everybody who has these near-death experiences are always seeing light. But in truth, the higher you get, the darkness. Now, maybe ultimately, the world of Atzilus, maybe I'm sure that might be Or. I have no idea. That's the Or Hagadus. I have no idea. I haven't, thank God, had one of those experiences. But what's interesting is that the Choshech and Toihu and Vayu, that's all out of this world. Hashem changed that in this world. What it means is, and we're going to learn about this, and it's a very, very practical point here, believe it or not. What it means is that when we talk about light and darkness, in the simple scientific, physical world, light and darkness. What we're talking about is separation, Havdalah. The world was Choshech, Hashem pulled out Or. Just like the Havdalah that takes place between people, like we're not all one big neshama, there's a separation of neshamas, we're not all one big goof, separation of goofs, we're men, we're women, we're different kinds of people, there's a lot of individuality going on. It's not just one big body of water, it's many bodies of water, so there's a separation that goes on. So the Bria is all about Havdalah. The whole thing is all about separating things. The more it's separated, the more it's created. You know how, like even in like if you're a poor Talmud Chacham, everything's one. Yeah, this reminds me of that, and that reminds me of this. It's like Altzeit Zach, like everything is one. One thing you think you know everything. You have to learn kabocha. The real Lamdan will take two things which seem so similar, a real Lamdan, and say these two things have nothing to do with each other. They're completely different. So it's all about distinction. Truth is found in distinction. If you can't distinguish between things, Havdalah das minayin, das Havdalah minayin. Whereas those two Greeks is like you can't have das without Havdalah. Havdalah is the ability to distinguish between things. So everybody says this is a book, that's a book. This is paper, that's paper. I'm in the printing business a little bit, so paper. But what I often tell a story. I went to Australia, so we were going to do, like when I first came, we were going to do this big Shabbaton in the Australian bush. Like that's the beautiful forests of Australia. So when I went out there, the guy took me in the car to take me to the place. And it was just like magnificent, beautiful. Like I really never saw anything like it. So I said to the guy who was driving me, big Talmud Chacham, I said, "What kind of trees are those?" So he tells me wooden ones. Okay, as opposed to the kind you have in the city, like those are, like it's. There's a sort of a lack of appreciation for understanding the distinction. There's a big difference if you're into nature between this kind of tree and that kind of tree, and every different kind of bria within that type of a tree. So the same thing is true with Havdalah. Havdalah is a good thing. It's a bad thing. It can potentially, like every good thing, lead to a bad thing, because when there's too much Havdalah, we all end up hating each other. Because these distinctions. So that's like a catch-22 in the Bria, that you have to make it vayavdil. But on the other hand, then we're so different and we're so individualistic that how we meant to get along even. But Hashem helps, and you can do it. That is the avodah. That is the avodah of this world, to bring it all together. That's the avodah of Mashiach. So those are the pshat in the different worlds. So what you have is a number of things happening. First of all, the creation goes through these worlds, but also distinction goes through these worlds. And we're living in Asiya, we're in the world of distinction, i.e. to distinguish between things. And there's Or here to distinguish between things and to get things, to refine our thinking, that it's not, everything is not just the same. And I'll say, who says everything's the same? Racists say everything's the same, All black people are like this. All Jews are like that. This is a very unsophisticated way of thinking. Obviously, all the kids will be kids. These are stupid statements. Of course, there are some characteristics that join all people together and all types of people together. For instance, all black people are black. But the fact of the matter is that there's so much more to it. Obviously, and everybody knows that it's considered very crude intellectually to lump any kind of people into one, or any type of, that's women for you. I mean, there's some truth to it, But everybody's. Somebody said to me this morning, I never found true happiness until I got married, and then it was too late. All right. I thought it was funny. So what we need to learn is how the worlds work. So Reb Tzadok says as follows. There's a Gemara in Yuma Pei Vav. Gemara in Yuma says, Gedola tshuva shemagas ad kisei hakovod. the tshuva is so great that it reaches the kisei hakavod. The kisei hakavod, what's the significance of tshuva reaching the kisei hakavod? It's a Gemara. So Reb Tzadok explains as follows.
Where is that?
This is in Takonos Hashavin Beis. Nefesh Ruach Neshama Sheba Adam. This is like really parallels the Nefesh Hachaim that we're learning. Nefesh Ruach Neshama Sheba Adam. Every person possesses Nefesh, Moska, Shmias, Ruach. We learned this deeper. Neshama, Machshava. Nefesh Ruach Neshama is what we do, is what we say, is what we think. Nefesh Ruach Neshama. Humi Gimel Lama, it's important to parallel them. Where's that chart? Somebody made a chart, right?
I didn't print it.
Thanks. That Humi Gimel Lamais, it corresponds to the three worlds, which he calls here Kisei Malachim Galgalin. Olam HaKisei, held cup over here, is Kisei HaKavod, that's the world of Bria. Olam HaMalachim, where do Malachim live? Yitzir. Galgalim is the bottom of Yitzir, the top of Atzilus, like the stars, the galaxies. That's the top, and from there down. Moshe Kosav, like it says, the Tikkun Zayar, Tikkun Mem Gimel, which correspond Shehem, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. So remember that you have Neshama, Ruach, Nefesh. You have Kisei, Malachim, Galgolim. You have Bria, Yitzira, Asiya.
Always at the top of the sphere, on that level?
Between Bria and Atzilus?
No, when you saw Galgalim is like the top of Asiya, and Malachim at the top of Yitzira, and Kisag at the top of Bria?
Yeah. No, it's the top of Bria, yes.
Right, so
what's higher? Atzilus.
I know, but it's always top of that category.
We're always talking about the top, yes. Good point. Yeah. Good observation. Uber Bria, here's the thing. Here's the fascinating thing. We talked about the fact that Havdalah happens as you descend the worlds. So, where does Tov V'Ra happen? There's good and there's bad, good and evil. Where does that take place? Yitzira. Because that's a separation. In the world of Bria, there is no Ra. There's no Ra. Uva Bria, interesting Lashon, I may be wrong, Rubai Toiv. Right. Could be the very bottom of Bria. But Uva Bria, so there's a Tov Ra. There's no Averos. There's no Ra. This is what it means when Chazal say, when Rabbi Kiva said, Kol man David Rachman L'tav Avid. That if you can stick your head in the world of Bria, everything's good. There's no bad. Bad is, once things get distinguished between good and bad, good and evil, then you have bad. But if you go all the way up, Lifnei HaMakom, what's bad? Everything. Kol man David Rachman L'tav Avid. Rabbi Kiva's Rabbi Nachavish Gamzu said Gamzu L'taifa. Even a different madrega. Lakach Oimrim, if there's no bad in the world of Bria, and this is Gevaldik. If there's no bad in the world of Bria, and the world of Bria corresponds Chaim to what? L'Shabbat. So if the world of Bria corresponds to the Shabbat, it means there's no bad in the Shabbat. So when we talk about a good to the Shabbat, not a good to the Shabbat, it's all wrong. Everybody's a good to the Shabbat. Problem is what you do with that neshama. That's already the world of Yitzira. But the neshama, and how do we know this? We say this every day in davening. Elikai, neshama shenasata b'tahira. You're giving me a neshama tahira. So we're all starting off with a good neshama. Now we learned there's different sharshim in neshama, different kinds of neshama. There's no bad in the neshama. There is no bad neshama. Nothing. Therefore we say neshama shenasata b'tahira. Gamata. And even now, meaning now if you're in this world and you do an Avera, Eina Kilkul B'Chelik HaNeshama. You're not destroying something in the neshama. You can't touch that neshama. It's not like you destroyed your neshama. And it also goes with the machshava. Ikar hachet, Yisoid 2. Neshamas can't be bad, that's Yisoid 1. Neshamas are good. Tahiri, we say it every morning. Point 2. Ikar hachet. Where does chet come from? Right? We decide that we're going to talk Lashon Hara. We decide that we're going to eat something which is treif. We decide to kill somebody. Where does that chet come from? It comes from the neshama?
The kuf.
It's the goof. So when it comes from Ikar Achet, specifically, min halev. Lo yisasuru achrei levavchem. So here you have a situation which we can see on the human chart. You don't have to go all the way up to Shemayim to see this, where the Rosh is saying to you, do not kill this guy. It is a bad idea to kill this guy. But your Lev says, I just can't stop myself. He really hurt me. I hate him. And the Lev says, kill him. The Rosh says, don't eat this. It's bad for your health. And the Lev says, eat it. Ma'yiyeh.
But that's Yitzira, not
Yitzira. So because the possibility of evil is only in Yitzira. And corresponding to that, it's only in the Lev. So chet comes from the Lev. Ikar achet min alev. Kimoi kasa, like it says in the Torah, lo yisasuru achrei levavchem. Levavchem is a plural. Sham mishkan ha-Yetzer Hara. That's where the Yetzer Hara, what we call the Yetzer Hara, people dying in the word Yetzer Hara, Yitzira. Kimoi kasa, like it says in the beginning of Bereshis, Yetzer Lev ha'adam ra mina urav. So Ra begins with, as Hashem says, I can't destroy the world, I can't keep destroying the world because I created person. I'm going to destroy the world because of a person. I created not just the world of Bria where everything's toiv. I created the world of Yitzira where people have, I created this Ra too. Yotzer Or Uvarei Choshech, right? Osa Shalom U'Boirei Ra. Rabu B'Brachos, Gemara in Brachos, Samach Aleph, gives a whole description of this. What's going on with the Yetzer Hara? Yoshev Bein Beis Miftachei Halev. That you have two entrances to the heart. Maybe it means the right aorta, the left aorta, maybe it means something else, I don't know. But whatever the Gemara means, that's where the Yetzer Hara, that's the seat of the Yetzer Hara. Val Yedei, now, let's talk about Tshuva. This is high stuff for us. Just get it. Keep your minds with me. Let's talk about Tshuva. Where how does that work? Where's Tshuva? Magas ad kisei hakavod. So there's different levels of Tshuva. That's the answer. If I do Tshuva in my heart, so that's called hirhur, a hirhur of Tshuva. I had a hirhur of Tshuva. That's not in your mind, it's in your heart. Yidei hirhur Tshuva shebelev. Hirhur is always belev, by the way, as opposed to machshava, which is in the mind. Hirhur alev. So al yedei hirhur to tshuva shebelev, the levava yavid v'shav. My heart understands that I should not be doing this. That's tshuva. I listened to my heart. My heart steered me wrong. I'm going to get in control of that. So it's all lave stuff. It's all lave stuff. I'm like disciplining the negativity within me. So ba slicha al haba. For that kind of tshuva, you can go forward. You have tshuva for the future. You had a problem. You're a masakin. You know, I think that like if you a person, God forbid, has a heart condition and you fix it, you don't fix it retroactively. You only fix it b'Kollel Bais. If damage was done to the body, I didn't tell you something about like just a little health thing, which is a good mushal. Diabetes is something I know a little bit about. So in the case of diabetes, people don't understand. It's not like you have it, you don't have it. Every minute you're diabetic is hurting your body. Meaning your blood's not flowing correctly. There's too much glucose in the blood. It's not absorbing correctly. So now it can't get through. It's like orange juice that you let on the table for 10, 15 minutes. It's all sticky and yucky. Can't get through the small arteries in your heart and your feet and your eyes. So all kinds of illnesses could come about. Okay, so now I got myself together, and I take medication. Whatever you do, no more diabetes. But you can't go back Labat Freya necessarily. Maybe you can, but not by doing tshuva. That's for sure. You can't go back Labat Freya. And not only that, every minute that a person is diabetic is damaging the body. So, like if you're careful all the time, and then just one time, you can't resist the rugelach at the kiddush. So your blood sugar, it's a good muscle actually. Your blood sugar goes up for that couple of hours. Those couple of hours are doing damage. It's not like, okay, well, I got past that, so that was yesterday. No, it did damage. So the same thing is with a chet. The simple, you could do tshuva. Pashut of pshat is you could do tshuva, and that's correcting things going further. It's like damage control, and I'm not going to get worse, and I'm going to be good, and I'm going to become a tzaddik. Habahar b'tshuva, he's considered harez tzaddik gamur. That's what the Gemara says in Kedushin. However, let's say you killed somebody, and now you do tshuva. You keep on looking at him and nothing happens. He still doesn't move. Because the tshuva can't undo the metzias of what you created. Can't undo it. Tshuva doesn't undo it. So this is the dichotomy that somebody's chayiv chas v'sholom, somebody's chayiv misar, but misar is based it because he killed a guy. So you bring him and they tell him, the first thing you tell him is do tshuva. Now let's say he does tshuva. So let's say he really does tshuva. I imagine most people in that case would do tshuva. So he does tshuva, so you don't not kill him. Still chayiv misa. Because you killed the guy. It's a metzias. And it's not because we don't know whether he did tshuva or we don't know whether he did tshuva. It's because that's makesha. One has nothing to do with the other. The kilkul you made in the world of Asiya, but in terms of your lave, like you're in a good path for the next 3 minutes. You're in a good path. So that's slicha al haba. Here's the chap. Kishishoyked al tshuvasa yoiser. But if you really work on that tshuva, umamikba, umagia lasakin ad hamachshava shebemoach. Now you can turn only not, I feel bad that I do it. It is bad. I turned the corner on this one, and I realized that was like really a bad thing. So this is like just again a mashal. This is what they look for in the prison system. Of is there real not repentance? They call it rehabilitation of remorse. Like that it's not just I feel bad. But I've changed. In other words, they want to be convinced. Let's say that a criminal.
Recidivist.
Yes. Something has changed. It's a very difficult thing to reach, and I don't know that most people can reach that. But that's what they're looking for in the rehabilitation process. So, but this is tshuva, real tshuva. Kishashayket al tshuvasa yoiser umamik ba himagia l'sakin ada machshava shebemoyach. Now you've affected your machshava also. Machshava hu ikar ha'adam. The main thing of a person is the machshava. So are you changing the behavior, or are you changing actually what you are? So let's look at the world of the leiv as the world of behavior, and look at the world of machshava as the world of what we really are, what we know. Where a person's thoughts are, that's where he is. And this is what Chazal mean, and Medrash they say, Harashayim hein bershus liban. The Rashayim are controlled by their leiv. Ve'hatzadikim liban bershus san. So who's the Rashus and who's the? In other words, what's controlling who? What we need to ask ourselves on a regular basis is it mind over matter, or is it matter over mind? Am I thinking with my hunger and with my hormones, or am I thinking with my brain? So you're thinking with your brain, like old people do tshuva. Why? Because they don't have any appetite and they don't have any drive to do tshuva. Okay, that's something, but it's not. It's that they're only machshava, no leiv left. That's all. So it's something. Rambam says that's something, but it's not tshuva. That's not complete tshuva. It's a tshuva garua. It's tshuva garua not because you don't have the test, but because you really haven't changed the system. You just amputated your heart. That's all. That's not tshuva per se. Mavur. The halev, the person's heart, einoi ikar ha'adam. Valkein hikarehu amoyach. Uberashaya machshavas hamoyach nimshechas achar haratzon. So what? We just said the neshama can't be bad, the machshava can't be bad. But what happens is that the machshava becomes affected by the heart. So our thoughts, if a person's a rasha, the thoughts become affected by your heart. Uberashaya machshavas hamoyach nimshechas achar haratzon alei shebekulei ra v'teilad avat tzadikim behapach. Tzaddikim also have a Yetzer Hara, but they're able to control the Yetzer Hara with their mind. So this is the important distinctions that we have to make. It all has to do with your Ratzon, by the way. Ratzon is in the lave. So you have to. So the question is the heart working on the mind, or is the mind working on the heart? Put it in a different language that he puts it in. Is the nefesh and ruach working on the neshama, or is the neshama working on the nefesh and ruach? Okay, now we say. Let's get to the point over here. There's so much here. Every word is important, but I want to.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Isn't this against the regular Nefesh way that we think about tshuva? That your mind tells you there's something wrong, and therefore your mind tells your heart to stop. That's like the basic level of tshuva. That's not the Mamik Yoser level of tshuva. That's like I don't even know how to do tshuva without my mind being involved in the process.
It might be so, but you're talking about doing a shinui. In other words, the problem is, as he says, Ein adam choyt elam ke nichnas by ruach shtus. So what does that mean? It means that your mind is good, but a ruach shtus, my heart, devil made me do it, right? my heart pushed me to do a chet. So there's a case of your mind is good. So of course your mind is going to activate the tshuva. So what are you doing down there? Why are you going against me? But then there's a problem of Rishayim that their lave is mashpia on their rosh. So now you have to change the rosh also. Like you have to go both ways.
So the same heart that did the chet, you need that same heart. The same, I use the word passion, but you need the same drive.
Passion's a good word. Yeah.
The same passion that drove you, or the passion heart that drove you to do this, they need the same passion heart to bring you back, or to make a tikkun.
You're right.
It can't be just intellectual then.
Right. Now the shaila is, right, can't be just intellectual on the one hand. On the other hand, here's the key thing that, I'll give you one more mashal. Like in the world of kiruv, balei tshuva, so there seems to be two drachim. One of them seems to deal very much with the intellect, I'll prove to you arguments and mathematical arguments and all kinds of things, which is, sort of doable. And then there's another derech of cholent, and it's nice, and it's now the Gemara says go to lagimash b'karevis abrius, that food is food is a good cure of thing, it works. But the shaila is like this: that if you take just emotion and just things of the lave and you feed it, so yes, you'll get a good reaction, but it won't last. It'll only last if you're hashivoisel vavecha and you bring it all the way up to your boach. So that's what I mean. The lave has to sort of change the boach. So what has to happen is, I believe what has to happen is that you have to get somebody in the door with the cholent, but if you're not going to intellectualize it and concretize what that inspiration is, or in other words, you could hear, you could sing with somebody a beautiful Karlbach-Ligen, and he could be inspired, and then go out and do the same affair that he did before, because inspiration is not going to last. It's like vapor, unless you concretize it, and intellectualize it. So at some point, it has to reach here. So that's not saying that that's not a good thing, or it's not saying this is not a good thing. But you need a program over here. You see this with everything, by the way. It's not only Torah and Tshuva. You see this with the whole Alcoholics Anonymous is based on this idea, like there's an inspiration, but everybody knows, everybody who's dealt with addiction, personally or with others, knows that it's not as simple as deciding I'm not going to do it. That's not what it's about. That's a good place to start, but it's not about deciding, wow, my heart is really steering me wrong, because your heart will steer you wrong again and again and again. And people who make mistakes in general in life, I find, my own little experiences, those who make mistakes in life tend to make the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. And as the Gemara says, Rishoyim B'leim Charata. I notice even people that like marry the wrong person, like really the wrong person, so they get divorced, they go ahead and marry the same kind of person again. I notice this over and over again. Like why? Because you didn't. What were you masaking here? For the same reason you married this first person, you married the second person, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. So there has to be some kind of when we get back to Henry VIII, you gotta like do some kind of a tikkun in between. To say, Ani ish acher v'lo yoisai ish achata. In that case, it's not necessarily a chet, but I'm not the same person. So what has to happen here is you need a gavra change. Now, how does tshuva now go ahead and create a situation of zedoinos nasa keschuyos? We find this other idea of tshuva that it goes retroactively and turns it into a mitzvah. That's already a pella. And the pshat is that Gedola Tshuva Shemagas had Kisei HaKavod. Because Kisei HaKavod is in the world of Bria where there is no Ra. Do you have this? This is just unbelievable. If your Tshuva is all in the world of Yetzirah, so it's good to go forward. You're good to go. If your Tshuva, but the damage was done. And you can never fix the damage in the world of Asiyah. But upward. You can do Tshuva in such a way that it's Magas had Kisei HaKavod, which is in the world of Bria. In the world of Bria, there is no Ra. The whole Havdalah started happening in the world of Yetzirah. So if there is no Ra, Kol Ba'adav Rachman L'Tava, Gam Zul L'Tova, so that's true of an Aveira too. That in the world of Bria, you can actually be Mahapachet to a place where there is no Ra, so it's not Ra any longer. So the Tshuva Be'ava is so strong that it's Magas, and this is what the Gemara means, explains Reb Tzadok, this is what the Gemara means, that Tshuva Be'ava is so strong, Shemagas ad Kisei HaKavod, that it can work back within the person and within the Oilamos of the Bria to be ad Kisei HaKavod in the world of Bria where there is no Ra. So now that I did something, it's not even Ra anymore, so I've actually retroactively turned it around. Now the guy's still dead.
But it's not a bad act.
Hmm?
That's not a bad action anymore?
Of course it was a bad action, but action's in the world of Asiyah.
Right.
So in Asiyah,
It's still bad.
they're still bad. And it's Ra. Ra is Ra. Like if I drop a nuclear bomb on a state of the United States of America and then do tshuva, so, nothing happens. Like in the world of Gashmias, presumably. But in the world of Ruchnias, as far as I'm concerned, so something can happen. And I can transform to a place where that wasn't Ra. That's tshuva. It's a Peladika thing. I mean, when you learn of how it really works, like why should it go retroactively? The answer is because you're internalizing it so deeply that it's going from, not the world of Asiyah is the world of Asiyah, what you did. But the world of Yetzirah can affect upwards the world of Bria, so you went from a world where there's Tov Ra to a world where there is no Ra. And that's where I'm living, Kisei HaKavod. That's where I'm living. I'm living in a place where there is no Ra.
I mentioned it before, but isn't the pasuk Yotze over Choshesh Ra? Uvore Ra?
Right, so Ra is Tov. That's the whole point. The Ra is not Ra. Ra is Tov. I mean, you're asking good. The pasuk says it's Ra, but the Bria of Ra is so close to the Kisei HaKavod that what we're calling Ra is actually Tov. That's the way the Zohar understands that pasuk.
Uvore Ra, from our perspective, is really
Right, is really Tov. Kol man david rachman l'tavov, gamzul l'toiva. Which is why, by the way, we don't say it in davening. We don't say Borei Ra. Borei Akol. Borei Akol. Let me give a yeah.
Well, can I maybe it's a repeat, but the process of a complete tshuva, and I was helping you as this extreme example of somebody who's lost their values to the degree that they would wipe out whole state, let's say.
Right.
That's an extreme. But a full tshuva is rewiring that. A brand new way of looking
Well
at
said.
the whole world, and that's entirely a process in machshava. So it makes sense that rewiring, that complete tshuva and new way of looking at who I'm going to
Absolutely.
be is
Format the
machshava,
disk.
and that's Bria.
You're formatting the disk. It's a
That's
whole new
Bria.
thing. Yes.
That's Bria's machshava.
Which makes sense. It's called Bria. Even.
Right.
It's called Bria. Bria Chadasha Bolakan. Something new. Just give you this example from Chazal, example we all know. I want to talk about for 5 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. I want to talk about Menashe HaMelech, favorite subject. Menashe HaMelech was a real Rasha. The Avtzalachas, like he lived longer than any other Melech in the whole history of Klal Yisrael. He was a horrible guy. 3 horrible guys. Bezach was Achaz, Menashe, and Amon. Menashe married his daughter. Menashe killed his grandfather Yeshaya, killed all the Talmidei Chachamim. His father, Menashe's father, was Chizkiyahu, was a Tzaddik Gomer. Tzaddik Gomer. He killed all the Talmidim of Chizkiyahu. Chizkiyahu was anti-Avodah Zarah, Menashe was pro-Avodah Zarah. So he was a horrible guy. But bottom line is, he was a horrible guy. So Chazal say, you're familiar with it, but it's kedai to see inside. Chazal say, Amar Reb Levi, this is a Chazal. Okay. What happened was that, I'll just give you this little bit of background, that in Sefer Divrei Hayamim at the end of Tanakh, so over there it says, Vayidaber Hashem al Menashe v'al Amoi v'lo yakshiv, is lashon of the Tanakh, that Hashem spoke to Menashe, it was a Navi, I guess, v'al Amoi spoke to the people, v'lo yakshiv, they didn't listen to Hashem. V'yavoy Hashem aleim asarei atzava asher l'melech Ashur, so because they didn't listen to God, says the Divrei Hayamim, the kings of the Assyrian army came, v'yilkadu es Menashe, and they captured Menashe, b'chochim v'yasru manachashtaim, they locked him in chains, and they arrested him. V'yolicheu babila. U'kitzahar kishahatzer loy, says in Tanakh, kishahatzer loy, when things became so difficult for Menashe, here he was the king of the whole thing, he was a big bacher and had every luxury, he was a big Russia. All of a sudden he's a cat, they're going to cut off his head. he's at the end of the line. Hatzer loy, chalas v'nashem, he's hard to daven. Okay. What they say in Yiddish, good Morgen Geller. Like all of a sudden you're davening, Yitzchilu lichlois espnei Hashem lekav vayichna ma'oid milifnei lekei avoisav, and he was machnia himself in front of Hashem when he was arrested, when he was captured. Vayispalel alav, and he davened to Hashem, vayeter loy, and Hashem listened to him. Vayishma tchinosai v'yeshiveu Yerushalayim. Hashem listened to his prayers and brought him back to Yerushalayim. L'malchusai b'yada Menashe ki Hashem hu ha'alekim. Now this is after a lifetime of horrible Hitlerian slaughter. He had concentration camps. He killed old people. He killed women. He killed Talmidei Chachamim. Avodah Zarah. He instituted. Everybody has to worship Avodah Zarah, otherwise we kill you. This was the Melech Yisrael, and he did tshuva when he was in chains and captured. Okay, this was worse than a foxhole. He was at the end. He did tshuva. Hashem listened to his tshuva, and he became a great king. So Amar Reb Levi, so this is Chazal, that they tortured him so. Kimin shirasher tzirasei tzara la'iniach avodah zarah ba'olam shalei hiskira. What was the first thing he did in captive? He said, okay, I'm going to go through my Rolodex of Avodah Zarahs. I'll pray to all of them. Something has got to work here to get me out of this mess. So he went through all of them. Kimin shalei hayu klum, didn't help him. Amar Zacharani, I have an ancient memory. Shahaya Avi, my father, Yecheskel, Makrois, yes, HaPasuk Hazabu Beis Knesses. He used to always point to this pasuk when he took me to shul. And the pasuk was in Devarim Batzar L'chom Tzucha Kol Advarim Ha'ela Ba'achris HaYomim. When you're going to have tzaris at the end of days. V'shavta ad Hashem Elokecha v'shamata b'koilo yishudu tshuva. Listen to his voice. Ki kel rachum Hashem Elokecha. Lo yarpucha, lo yashchisecha, lo yishkach es bris havisecha. Hashem will never let you down. He'll never forget the covenant. Asher nishbar lahem. So he remembered the pasuk, popped into his mind. His this is important of chinuch, you know. It popped into his mind this pasuk, and he says, "Harei ani koirei oisei." I'll call Hashem, but listen to this. If he answers me, muta. I'm with the program. Im lav, he'll call off in Shabbos, same as every other Avodah Zarah. This is like a Yeder Tshuva, you know? Like, what kind of a Tshuva is this? I'll see.
This what he learned with his grandfather?
Huh?
He learned with who?
Chizkiyahu, his father. I'll say, kol apin shavan. Everything's equal. All the Avodah Zarah. V'haya, so he goes and he does Tshuva. Weird kind of Tshuva. V'hayu malachei asharis b'sas b'nasach haloydais, all the malachim in the world of Yetzirah started to close the windows. No way that this guy's tshuva is going to get in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a kel rachum v'chanun, and they knew HaKadosh Baruch Hu is an easy for forgiving. Our job is to protect Hashem from these kind of things, and to protect the world from these kind of things. We are standing in the world of Yetzirah. Sasam as kol ha'chaloynoi sheburakia. So they closed the windows of tshuva.
So the gaboim of the gedolim.
Yeah. V'hayu malachei asharis ha'ibrim lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They looked up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the malachim, and they said, Ribono shel olam, Adav sha'avad avodah zarah. We're talking about a man that was over avodah zarah. Hebed selam behechel. He had the keys to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and he put the hechel, he put the avodah zarah inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Atam mekablei b'tshuva. Don't stop us from closing the windows. Omer lohem, says Hashem, I have a problem. Im eini mekablei b'tshuva harei ani noelos hadelos b'fnei kol balei tshuva. If I'm not, so Kadosh Baruch Hu makes malachim, now he has to reason with them. If I don't take his tshuva, so then no bal tshuva will ever be certain that his tshuva is tshuva. After what I did. Like, you never know whether you're on this side of the fence or that side of the fence. I can't do it. Ma asalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what did Hashem do? Choter loy chatira, he sawed a hole. Tachas kisei hakavod. Listen to the words. Under the kisei hakavod. That's the world of Bria. B'shamat chinasei, and he let his tefillos come in. Hadohu d'chsiv. And this is what the pasuk means. Vayispalel elav vayeter loy vayishmat chinasei v'yeshiveyu b'ois hashomer Menashe is din v'is dayan. And at that moment, Menashe had a regesh that there is a din, there is a dayan, there's a Ribono shel olam, and he did tshuva. So Menashe did tshuva. It's like this is Reb Levi. I don't like it. Wild insight here. But where he's taking us here with this chazal is exactly from the world of Asiya to the world of Yetzirah to the world of Bria. And Gedolah Tshuva Shemagas Ad Kisei HaKavod means that once Menashe, if he can reach with his tshuva, the world of Bria, which he could not, because he was so bad that he could not. You can't undo. He couldn't. By the way, his grandson, Ammon, was worse than him, and his grandson Yoshiyahu was a tzaddik, and he did everything to undo all the terrible things that Menashe did, but he couldn't undo it. There was still a Ramat Bet Shemesh. So the Ramat Bet Shemesh was the Ramat Bet Shemesh. Like, you can't undo. The guy's dead. You can't undo it. You can't make him alive. You kill your grandfather Yeshayahu's dead. But somehow or another, nevertheless, his tshuva, with the help of Hashem, with sawing a hole from the world of Bria to the world of Yetzirah, was able to bypass the malachim, whatever the technology of this is. He was able to bypass the malachim and get straight up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, into the world of Bria, and his tshuva was tshuva, and he said, East and V'East.
So is that hole still open?
The Omek, you don't need that hole. The Omek Hadavar is that you had to get to such a place. Look, there's two things here, and let me just end with this. One thing is, Yesh Kaida Labai B'Shachas. You can see such a thing as a person makes a turnaround like that in the Shachas. We see it. We see it in our own lives. Like you can see such a thing. Such a thing is happening. But then there's something else that's going on over here, besides for that. And that is that even the terrible, terrible Averos of Menashe, from a spiritual point of view, from a Gashmius point of view, nothing to do. But because you see there was a Chorban. From a spiritual point of view, you can get to a world where there is no Ra. How much Ra can the world of Bria tolerate? The answer is there's no Ra in the world of Bria. This is before there was Ra. Kol Ma'adav and Rachmana L'Tavav and everything Hashem does is good. So was Menashe good? How can we say it was good? It made a Chorban Beis HaMikdash. But somehow or another there was a good. That's beyond my understanding. I don't know. But somehow or another, like the Ra, you can see sometimes after a couple of hundred years or a couple of thousand years, you can see some type coming from Ra. It takes a long time for history to be able to process that kind of thing. People start talking about, justifying the Holocaust. It's still too early. You need another couple of hundred years to start justifying HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right now, we're still Ba'avelos, I believe. But still, you see, it came out a state of Israel, came out a Makom Kadosh. You start seeing, glimpses of it, which is easy to see when you didn't go through it, yourself. But my point is that you can get to a world of Bria. This is what's Linyanenu. You can get to a world which is Koidem Hafrada. And you can get to a world where everything Hashem does is just good. And somehow it's good. And this is very difficult to fathom, because did he do good or did he get bad? Is he going to get an onesh, or is he going to? So here the Chazal say, and the Rambam brings, Zedoy nois nasa k'schuyos. They could actually turn into schuyos in a higher world. L'gabe this person's neshama, albeit not in the lower world for Asiya. So this is a very deep thing. Let's process it, and then we'll go further.